I want you to think of your favorite game or favorite video game franchise. Maybe even pause this video, go grab it, and play along while I talk for a few minutes. It shouldn't take long to come up with your favorite video game or video game franchise. Me personally, it's most likely, most definitely Kingdom Hearts. Going on from there, maybe Smash Bros. Or something of that nature. If you were to ask me in 2016, it would most definitely have been Overwatch, but fuck that game, am I right? If you're talking about my favorite game on the Switch, Mario Odyssey. If I was going a little bit younger, I would say Sonic Adventure 2, which I still think is one of the better 3D Sonic games. Now, I want you to take that favorite video game or favorite video game franchise, and I want you to start going back in time and unpeeling the layers of the previous games that you played all the way back to childhood, and you might find a connection that you didn't know was even there. I mentioned this many times on live streams and in some of my videos, but I came from a very strict and religious household growing up. So playing a lot of M games and more pop culture related games during my teenage to young adulthood was not really there. I was kind of stuck in the past with games, and I think that really shaped into the kind of games that I'm into even today as an adult. I have a hypothesis that the positive experiences we had as children with certain video games actually shaped and structured the future video games that we would come to enjoy and love. And I think this makes perfect sense. Just looking at me as an example, introspectively thinking about it, Crash Bandicoot was one of my favorite video games as a kid, and I also really liked Mario Kart and mascot racers such as Sonic Riders, and of course, before all of that, it was CTR that got that started. I'm not really a big fan of, like the Need for Speed games. It was mascot racing that I really liked. But along with mascot racing, I also really just enjoyed mascot games. Spyro was actually the very first game that I ever played, Spyro the Dragon. This right here is the Reignited trilogy. My PS1 is with my sister, and I have the original game there. And that's a whole different story, but it further proves my point that it kind of shapes up to the games that I'm into now. I really enjoy Mario Odyssey, which is a mascot 3D action platformer. I like Kingdom Hearts, which is a little bit more on the action RPG side, but there are some platforming elements in it, and there are mascots. It's Disney, for goodness sakes. Speaking of Disney, before I even got to Crash Team Racing or even got to Mario Kart, I used to play a Disney kart racer known as Walt Disney Magical Grand Tour, which isn't a mouthful whatsoever, but that was the first kart racing experience I had on the PS1, and I absolutely loved it. So there's these through lines that take me into the type of gamer that I am today. Spyro, being a very simple action platformer, led me more into Pac-Man 3D World, another game that I really enjoyed as a kid, which then led me into Sonic the Hedgehog, which I was actually playing more of the 3D games as a kid than I did the 2D side-scrolling. So Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes. So I was really into those, and guess what they are? They are a mascot action-adventure game. So it all kind of just makes sense and all kind of follows under this one umbrella. Now, as some people get older, they fall more into, the shooters, the first-person shooters that are edgier, and that kind of constructs a new wave or a new branch, if you will, of games that they enjoy. I never really had that. I stayed more on this more linear path, but I'm very curious about your journey and what games you started out with at the very beginning and where you're at now, what you really enjoy playing, all the different varieties, and where you think those were attached to. Like I said previously, I liked Overwatch for a very long time. I definitely am upset with the state of the game now, but that's a rant for another day. I actually did a video, I believe, ranting one a little while back. However, when it comes down to it, yes, it's a first-person shooter, but it's a mascot shooter. You play as these characters. It's not realistic. You play as characters with each unique powers and abilities. Take that back, and the game that I played before Overwatch was Team Fortress 2. And I know I said my parents didn't let me play M games or whatever. I think I might have even said R. Did I say R at the beginning of this? But anyway, Team Fortress 2 I was playing without my parents knowing, and it's a mascot shooter. It's not Call of Duty. It's not, anything like that. You're playing as these mascots. So even if it's a different type of genre, there's still that through line that I just find very interesting. And it's just fun to kind of like sit back and reminisce on those sort of things and what I like today versus what I used to play as a kid. So, yeah, just let me know down in the comments what games you play and what you used to play, what trends you see yourself going in when you're enjoying new games. I know since the Kingdom Hearts, I'm now starting to enjoy more action RPG, more hack and slash action RPG, more of the, like, Final Fantasy 16 realm, because it's not turn-based. I would probably really enjoy, I've never played it, but I would probably enjoy the game that Dante's from. What is it? Devil May Cry 5. I would probably like that if I put got some time into it. So yeah, it's just something very interesting to talk about. Another game that I forgot. I know I'm kind of going like all over the place. I used to play Monsters Inc. Scream Floor, which was like a platforming. Pretty much it was like a Crash Bandicoot clone, but with the Pixar brand. I was a huge Disney kid back in the day. I guess you could still argue I am a little bit to this day. But that could once again be a rant for another day. So it's just all these like hodgepodge is a melting pot of inspired ideas and designs and stuff like that really got me to the gamer that I am today. And with that being said, that's the video. Thanks for sitting around listening to my rant, either watching it or listening to it while you're doing something else, maybe even playing the game that you love and cherish the most. I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.